So the gospel in the way that I would spread it in today's Christian world, post-Christian, I guess you can say, um, would just be, I guess, the more of our generation, how we would spread anything in general. I don't think there is a difference on how to spread the gospel or spread anything else that you would advertise to anybody else, because I believe spreading the gospel, it just depends on how eager and how passionate you are about spreading the gospel and how passionate you are about telling people about God. Because the gospel overall, like it says in the picture that I have, is that the gospel is the good news of God's grace. Because the gospel overall is literally just spreading the word of God, spreading the meaning of God, and spreading the purpose of Him, like right in the Bible, for example, the purpose of Him one day coming back home, or us, the people of His children, going back home with Him. The way I would spread it would probably be the best way to reach our generation would probably be on social media and spread the gospel through verses or through worship music that reaches the young generation that's in our class, for example. Um, so the way of just spreading the gospel really just depends on the crowd you're trying to reach. For like if it's the older crowd, they would just try reading the gospel their way, as in like mouth to mouth, like speaking to them, trying to understand where they're coming from, and then just spread it as much as possible as we can to reach those people. Because there's not an age where certain people should get the gospel, because there's people from babies to old people where they haven't even received the gospel yet. And it's our duty, I believe, as God's children, is to spread that gospel and to spread the love of Christ every day as much as possible as we can with a kind heart. Because at the end of the day, God knows our heart and God understands where we come from, and understands what we're truly trying to do to impact the world by telling the world about God and his like stories and his past on what he's done and what he's done to change the world and help the world and everything that he's done to help. Overall, I just want to summarize up that the gospel is just amazing. And I feel like the more you understand, the more you read, or the more you hear testimonies, for example, I think the better you can understand the gospel. So just spreading it more and more is all up to the person and how passionate they are about it. It's not meant for everybody, but it is meant for everybody to at least to say something about God. Because at the end of the day, on Judgment Day, God's gonna ask, "What did you do on earth to tell people about me?" And I think everybody is gonna want to say that I've told people about you, and that is the gospel. Is just spreading that word about God, so other people could be impacted as much as you do. So it could be fair for everybody to be impacted as equally amongst everybody. I just really love talking about this because it's just that it was hard for me in the beginning, but once you get to know God more and understand the true meaning of what He's doing, or reading the Bible, sort of, or worshiping more and more, increasing that connection, you just have that stronger transfer from the gospel within you to someone else, and that's just an amazing thing to experience. And it's just awesome just to hear about this and just to hear about the gospel spreading every day. And I believe that's how I would spread it. I would spread it through social media. I would spread it through videos, through worship music, young music, old music, the way anybody would vibe to it, I guess, in some type of way you could say. But yeah, that's exactly how I would spread the gospel. And I would do it as much as I can. Thank you.